A beast is coming. A monster only I can defeat, provided that I am strong and ready to face him.
You want to know how good this game is? I don't like sandbox games, and I think these forgettable tough guy protagonists designed simply to appeal to the views of masculinity so pervasive among males ages 18 to 35 are the bane of modern gaming. And yet here they are, and for some reason, I couldn't stop playing Infamous 2.
I need those powers. The beast is coming, and I will be ready.
Of course, the reason isn't just some reason. In fact, it's actually an easily identifiable reason. This game is good. Where some sandbox games use the free roaming gimmick as a cover for a lack of focused gameplay, Infamous 2 does not. Where some games try to convince you, or perhaps themselves, that you've never seen a beefy hero like theirs, Infamous 2 does not. In fact, it relies on the hope that you have. Infamous 2 is ostensibly a game about Cole McGrath, but it's really a game about a lot of things. It's about superheroes, comic books, and all the fantasies young boys so often have about what they would do if. Infamous 2 takes away that if and lets them do it. And that's the genius of the sandbox design in this particular application. If you used to dream about soaring high above a city, do it. If you pretended to take down criminals in the backyard, well, take the controller and bring them to justice. If you wished you could throw lightning bolts from the very palm of your hands, Infamous 2 knows where you're coming from. And unlike your mom, when you threw fake ones at your sister, it lets you do it. But of course, if you've played the original Infamous, you're already aware of this. And speaking of which, one of the things I really like about Infamous 2 is that it doesn't pretend the first game didn't happen. The sequel picks up right where the first one stopped, and as such, Cole is already a badass. You're not starting the game with a guy who needs to recollect the powers he already had but somehow lost after the first game. Cole can already do some really impressive stuff, and right from the onset, he feels dangerous. You're improving an already beastly arsenal of powers in Infamous 2, which makes the sequel feel like a real and genuine continuation of Cole's adventure.
Kessler told me about you. I'm not gonna let it happen!
But a tough guy isn't the only thing Infamous 2 borrows from other modern games. Morality also plays a role in how the game progresses. Your actions have a tangible impact on the world around you, and whether good or bad, your reputation spreads quickly. This is another smart design choice, as it's really satisfying to see this enormous city react to you. It makes everything feel a bit more alive. And speaking of the city, Infamous 2 takes place in a very different kind of town than the original did. In fact, it's basically a fictional version of New Orleans, a nice contrast to the first game's Empire City. The setting feels a lot more diverse, which is a fitting touch for a game with more diverse action. You see, Cole's new amp is like an electric bow staff, and it lets him deal damage a lot more efficiently in melee battle. On the surface, this is a game I assumed I wouldn't like. Once I dove in, I couldn't imagine not liking Infamous 2. Not only does this game provide a massive amount of content, but it's also a really impressive display of design savvy. Everything you do in this game has a purpose and an effect on the world in which you're doing it. It's an absolutely engrossing place to get lost in, and fortunately, you'll always have a light in Infamous 2.